after independence. You are actually talking about a mayor of a city.
Or if the residents of Windhoek are on Facebook, I will go to Facebook. If the residents of Windhoek are in Herero Mall, I will go to Herero Mall. Wherever the residents are, I will be able to go there. And I think I don't actually value. Transform, for example, is the nature of the ballot. They were forcing us to wear ties and suits in order to appear on the ballot. So we objected that. We wanted to have a cap. So a young man and woman with talent and energy, a young man who's suffering, a young man who is completely oblivious of what is happening. Most of our youth have actually understood that no, politics belongs to those ones that are older. Politics belongs to those ones that are neat. Politics belongs to those ones that are wearing ties. So we are now on the ballot with our caps as a symbol of protest. So before we even participate in election, we have also transformed the ballot, and that we are very excited. Fit in, you must wear a suit like him, and in fact they would even argue that I'm wearing a t-shirt and you have a vest and then a shirt and then a tie and then a suit on top of it. You must actually put on that icon. So, because it might be hot for him. So the difference is about form and substance. So what they are busy focusing is on form, not substance. It's on form. What are you posting? What are you dressed on? Why are you not wearing the chain? Why are you protocols and things like that? So one of the first things, without even wasting time to dilly-dally with those things, I admit and I accept that I'm different. I belong to the generation that is different. The generation of young men and women who wants to be communicated to on Facebook, on Twitter, in the street, in the club, everywhere where they are. I'm not apologetic about that. If the presidency and everybody else think that because they have done that for 30 years and therefore we must continue with that narrative, it's not going to happen. And I hope that we can find really psychologists to counsel them so that they get to a stage where they just accept that we're not going to change. So there is not really issue about casuality. And what is casual? What is the alternative to casual? It's formal, isn't it? Like you go there, you back down with protocol and things. I don't belong to that generation. I belong to the generation of young men and women who want things to change. We must change the 30 years of misrule.
They look at Julius Malema in South Africa and they are very apprehensive towards such a radicalization.
I think we need to be able to understand the view of the anti-radicalism view is championed by liberals. And there's no history of achievement by liberals. Look, people had to be killed for us to have political freedom. There is no record. You see, for you to have a revolution, by very nature, there must be societal contradictions. So somebody need to rise and say, this is what is happening. Look, I was, as I informed you from the very beginning, I was never appointed to position of stewardship. Young people from the section, from the branch, from the district, from the region, from the national decided that I must lead. So I don't think we are going to give any prominence to, pedestrian views. Look, the Youth League and the Swapo Party have a constitution that is very clear. So we cannot be responding to people who think a person is young or what at the end of the day. Look, the black condition is very serious in this country. There are people with only one underwear. We know exactly what we are talking about. You meet a person, the last time that they ate an apple was maybe 8 months ago. There's a person for the past 6 years have never touched 100 Namibian dollar in their hands. So that's how serious the situation is. When somebody is elected to stewardship by young people, overwhelmingly, and you think the young people from all 107 districts of the Swapo Party Youth League, the 13 regions of the Swapo Party Youth League, and you think they could have taken who? So that is a problem in this country where that is why stagnation is there, because you have very comfortable people who are used to to their situation. All of a sudden, when somebody else comes, oh, who's this person coming? Oh, the person is too young. Oh, the person is too young.
A reader who read some of your columns and said that you are not mature enough to do weekly columns. I mean, so this is one person who says that, and to that you say?
Well, I told you I've been in public discourse for about 7 years. I've written various columns and people have responded. The white community have not been very happy about it. In fact, they had a website which was called Namibia Open Forum,
they followed all my discourses. Even when I went to the University of Stellenbosch, I led in the South African Students Congress, and I was the president of Stellenbosch Political Science Students Association. They went around looking for my pictures and reproducing it and presenting Job as this very monster that must never be allowed to steward. So what you need to understand, there are people who have a deliberate interest. They don't want young people to begin to rise up. They don't want young people to begin to be speaking about their issues. They want... That is in Ghana, because we went there was an African AU meeting in 2007. They were all there talking about how they fought for freedom. We said, but what about us as young people? You're not doing anything for us. So we want genuine African unity that includes the young people. So I was still at the university then. But the reason I'm showing you these images is that of those many other things, I was now able to understand that I've always been an activist. I've always been involved in activism, not activism for the sake of it, activism for social justice. They believe that you cannot say I cannot participate in the SRC election because it's my first year at Ipumbu. They believe that you cannot just, because you are head of state and you think we cannot be involved in the AU discussion. They believe that I also deserve a place in society. So that is what social activism, this whole notion that society must not be, people must not be discriminated on the basis of their gender, race, colors, age, because they did not dodge the bullets. I mean, I was not born before independence. So the whole idea that, that is the whole notion. So they need to have confidence of self. It's not enough to tell people that there's a land crisis. You need to give them inspiration. You need to stand out there, set yourself alight, sacrifice yourself.